Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Amma ba'd, habita fillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. A question was asked about studying Islam in universities. It says, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The scholars always mention the importance of tadarruj and learning the basics of knowledge first. However, we also see them recommending students to study in Islamic universities where they jump straight in with advanced issues. So how do we combine the two? Would you advise studying Islam in a university, or is it better to avoid for the beginner due to the advanced nature of the content? First and foremost, wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It's very important, the concept of tadarruj, as the scholars mention, and as is mentioned all the way from Athar of the Salaf as-Salih, from Ibn Abbas radiyallahu ta'ala in his mentioning of the Rabbaniyun and their methodology of teaching that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes, mentions in the Quran, the Rabbaniyun. And Ibn Abbas radiyallahu ta'ala, he explains that they are those who teach the people with the small issues and small affairs in knowledge, and basically build the people. And that is a type of tarbiyah, a type of educative effect, is that you begin with the small issues until the big issues. And that is what makes a person have itqan, or strength in excellence, and being firmly grounded in knowledge. So what the scholars advise is haqq. And in addition to that, as far as studying in Islamic universities where they jump straight in with advanced issues, I don't see that to be the case. In my observations and looking at various programs around the world, and especially being more familiar with what goes on in Saudi Arabia, that is not the case. They do not throw the students necessarily in deep water, but rather they teach them. But it's up to the student to be at that level of competency. So that is why, for example, those people who do not know the Arabic language, that they go through what is known as the Shu'ba, the Arabic language program that they have, for example, as in many of the Arabic universities, for example, Al-Azhar as well, and I'm sure the Egyptian programs that they have, and the programs in Saudi Arabia, and all the Islamic universities, likewise, they have this. And if you were to be in Yemen or any place, they give you, for those who are not native speakers, and they do not already have the competency in the Arabic language, then they go through these programs which teach them the Arabic language, and some of them even teach them some basic aspects of deen and aqidah and creed, and also some basic fiqh issues. So then that when a person transfers to their major course of study in the university, that they will be in a focused program in which they'll focus on their major in study. For example, if they are going to the Sharia college, or the college for the Usul ad-Din or Dawah college, or the college, it could be in Tafsir or Quranic studies, or the Arabic Language Institute, Arabic Language faculty. So it just depends on what your takhassus, what your specialty is. So they assume that by the time you finish those earlier studies, that you're going to now pursue that first year of studies in the program. It may be difficult, but there is a logic, and there is a precise curriculum in all of these institutions that I'm aware of, that they do have a program of study which takes you from smaller issues to larger issues, or subject matter, which is more basic to more advanced subject matter. And so they do that in the first year, in the second year, and then the third year, and the fourth year. By the time you're ready to graduate with a bachelor's degree, you will have went through a program and a process. So that is the way. Now it's up to the individual, if and depending upon their competency and so forth, to be able to align with that curriculum and have the competency to be able to be successful and thrive in that curriculum, to be able to graduate. And as far as, is it better for the beginner to avoid this? Absolutely not, because the scholars and others have tested this through and through, and I'm sure in many of the places they're advancing their curriculum, advancing their and perfecting their process of learning and so forth, and updating their curriculum and updating their methodological approaches and teaching and so forth, to where it is suitable for those, if they have the competency in the beginning, to even enter into those programs. And so that is what I can say about that. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Almighty, to accept our good and forgive our evil. Wa sallallahu wa sallam ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam.